today we're going to be talking about pricing, how to price yourself as a freelancer. Whether you're a beginner or you're not a beginner, this video is going to help you. So I got this comment on my YouTube video, and the person said, please, how much shall I charge as a virtual assistant? I already work as a creator on LinkedIn and I know I'm being underpaid. So I was like, why not answer this question? Because pricing is one of the biggest issues that even me, as a freelancer with so many experience, I face pricing issues because I'm like, I don't want to overcharge, but I also don't want to undercharge. I have a technique that I use every time right now when I'm charging clients. So whenever I'm working with clients and the clients ask me, Adefe, how much is your rate? I have one technique that I use to get the best rate. I'm like, why not share with you guys since everybody's having this issue? And that technique is asking questions. And before I get into how to use this technique, I want to say something. One of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of people make when it comes to pricing and pricing technique, they'll say, oh, charge your worth. The thing is, as a beginner, when you're just starting out, you actually do not know your worth, right? You're a beginner. Is your worth $1,000? Is your worth $5,000? Is your worth $10,000? You've not done this before. How do you know your worth? That's why I don't really like that advice of charge your worth. Rather, I would advise you to use the asking question techniques that I'm about to show you right now. So how does this technique work? Simple, just asking questions. So when you're talking to a client, let's say you're a content writer, right? And you got a client and the client is saying, oh, I want you to write content for me. The mistake a lot of beginner content writers make is thinking that the service is only content. So when the client is not like, oh, how much are you going to charge me for one blog post? They're like, how much should I charge for one blog post? Should I charge $500? Should I charge $200? Should I charge $300? No. Once you start to understand that the service is not just that service, there are more underlying services behind that service, then it's easier to price. Let me explain to you. So let's say you got a client that wants to give you a content writing gig and the client asks you that how much should you charge. What you start having to ask yourself is asking question that, okay, what else am I doing apart from writing? Apart from writing, you're going to be writing, you're going to be researching, you're going to be editing, you're going to be doing like the outline. How many hours would it take for you to write an article? How many hours would it take for you to edit? How many hours would it take for you to do your research? How many hours would it take for you to do outline? That way, can you see you're already seeing like the different things that you want to do, and you're already seeing the different hours that it's going to take for you to complete it. Now ask yourself, how much do I want to charge per hour? Now, and I also want you to be very, very realistic about this. If you're a beginner, please, you should not be charging like $200 per hour. You are a beginner. So what you have to do is charge something that is realistic and also within the client's budget. And how do you know the client's budget? By asking questions. So let's say I'm as a beginner right now, or let's say I'm even like an intermediate freelancer and I got a client, let's say a social media gig. Let me even move away from content writing because everybody says I never talks about content writing so much. And the person is like, oh, I want you to manage my social media. And I've broken down the different deliverables, right? I am to create content, I am to work on Canva, I am to post, I am to do this, I am to do that. What I will do in order to make this work easier for me and to make my life easier is to ask the client, what is your budget? So when the client tells you their budget, you even know how to now craft your pricing around that budget. The issue is a lot of people, they don't know the client's budget. So they're always racking their brain thinking of something. But if you just ask the client, a client, the simple question of, okay, so what is your budget? Then you can say, oh, okay, so this is the client's budget. According to this budget, though, I can, instead of doing 4 posts, I can do 3 posts. Instead of doing 20 posts, I can do 10 posts. Do you understand how you are now, able to craft your pricing and come up with a better pricing strategy by just asking questions? Let me just tell you guys something, right? There are 2 reasons why your clients will not accept your pricing and not accept your rates. 1, they don't have the budget. 2, they don't see the value of what you're charging for. By asking questions and using this question technique, you address those 2 issues. Number 1, if you've already asked the client for his or her budget, there's no need for the client to say, I don't have the budget. And also, if you draft out everything you're going to do word for word, one by one, the clients can already see the value of what you're doing. So you're not just saying, oh, I'm doing social media. You're telling the client, I'm working on Canva. I'm creating this post. I'm doing community management. I'm doing this. 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 I'm doing this for this price. They are like, oh, okay. Can you now see how this technique just helps you charge better and price better? So if you're using this asking the question technique, asking questions technique, you don't have to start thinking too much. All you have to do is ask questions. Ask questions. And this is what I use every time. So whenever I get on a call with a client or a brand, even if it's just for my social media services or it's for content creation, I ask them questions to understand the details of everything I'm doing. Once I understand the details of everything I'm doing, it's easy to say, okay, for this that you said I should do, this is how much I should charge. I be if I'm doing content writing, I'm doing editing, I'm doing research, I'm posting it, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing that, I'm doing that. Oh, I think it's fair enough if I charge $500. In your chest will not be beating that you're charging too much, because you're like, I'm not charging too much for all this work. It's actually worth it. And if you have clients, so what is your budget? And client say, my budget is $500 to $1,000. You can be like, okay, let me be greedy this month, 700. Then you know that you are not overcharging and you are not undercharging by just asking questions. So that is how you should use this technique. So I hope this video helps you, and I hope you would use this technique going forward when it comes to pricing. Just ask questions. Just ask questions, right? So thank you so much for watching this video. I want you to like, comment. What is that thing again?
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe,
Hit
and
the notification
hit
bell.
the notification bell, and what?
And drop a comment.
And drop a comment. Bye, guys.